Howdy there. I'm Noah. I'm a detransitioned male. I was on estrogen for 4.5 years. I started transitioning at 18, and then I detransitioned about 6 months ago. Today, I want to talk about transition regret. So, some people detransition and they don't actually regret transitioning in the first place. They see it as like part of their journey. Maybe they like the lingering effects of exogenous hormones. That's not me. Okay, I view transitioning as the single worst mistake I've made in my life. It had immediate negative consequences with my family because they could just like not wrap their head around my desire to transition. I wanted them to use this new name and pronouns like pretty immediately. They did not want to do that because they did not want to like affirm this identity that, yeah, they were hoping I would like come to my senses. I did not. I ignored them. But yeah, it drove this huge wedge between us, and that was really hard for me because I was close to my parents. I'm still close to my parents. Yeah, I went into my freshman year of college during COVID, and this was all like the first year of my transition. And I had a really hard time making connections like on campus or like with anyone, just because like I was a very non-passing trans woman, and honestly, I was never very good at like cohering to gendered expectations of women. So I don't know. I don't think people took me very seriously.
Good, good. I'm glad that they didn't affirm you. I'm glad that they stood their ground. And when you turned to 18, you basically turned away from your core principles and your teachings. But this just confirms that the word is right, that you put it into them young and eventually they'll never depart from it. Or they'll come back to the core principles of what you taught them. And the fact that his family stood 10 toes down and not calling him, not affirming him, not trying to make sure that he feels coddled and understood, but they looked at it as disrespectful and probably as a phase in his life is the reason why eventually he came back to the core of who he was supposed to be in the first place, and that is a man. You are a biological man. This also proves, and I'm sure that he's going to get into the rest of the story. I haven't seen the rest of the story, but this also proves that it's not about how you feel because you could just be going through some shit at the time. I also believe that it's a lot of this indoctrination and this affirmation and these places and people that's trying to figure out their life and then they get finessed and then they trying to fit in or they trying to be something that they naturally wasn't. And so when they going through a phase in their life, especially if they're under the age of 18, he just so happened to be 18 and trying to make decisions on his own, sound like he had a strong family household and some smart parents. He decided to go out on his own and eventually he came to his senses and was like, you know what? That ain't even me. I was just talking shit. I was just trying to do something I wasn't supposed to do to fit in. And it's unfortunate because we've made it cool to go against your nature. We've made it cool to try to be something that you're not. We've made it cool to try to go against and be rebellious against your core principles and your teachings and what God has ordained for us to be right and natural. And instead of him being a crash out and trying to figure it out and suffering in other normal ways that young men go through, he decided that he wanted to start identifying as a woman. And so he started taking all of this nonsense, which I don't even understand none of that stuff. I'm not trying to understand it. But I do like the fact that I appreciate y'all continuing to send me stuff. He wanted to start getting into this nonsense, and it probably didn't do him any better to go on these college campuses because college campuses today are even worse than before. He said that he had been doing it for like 4 years, so I'm guessing that he's somewhere around 22, 23 years old, and he started detransitioning 4 months ago. Yo, do me a favor, chat. Somebody put in a chat and give me some insight on if you are familiar with it or if you know it. And I'm going to always link back to the content creator because it's the right thing to do. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. The best time to join the Patreon is the beginning of the month. Phenomenal live stream a couple days ago. It was awesome. It's too much money to be made, and I can't believe that y'all not taking advantage of it. But tell me, like, is it like a hard stop? Like when you transition into being something that you're not, it could take years. And it sounds like he said that he started detransitioning or he detransitioned 4 months ago, in which he probably stopped taking estrogen or he stopped trying to have or create women or feminine features. And then that just created this nonsense. And then he detransitioned. How can you detransition? And again, I don't know. So I'm asking, how can you detransition within 4 months, and then it takes you all of these months to change into something that you're not. I don't know. But anyways, let's go ahead and get back into the video and let's see what else he got to say.
outside of like these, very trans affirming like social groups. Also, like having a trans identity, constantly worrying about passing, about being misgendered, that kind of thing, it made me like incredibly neurotic, and I'm already like a neurotic person. So yeah, this is not even to mention like the physical effects. If it was just like I'd gone socially transitioned, I would feel like a lot better about it. But no, I had facial feminization surgery. So I do miss like my like
So dumb.
strong brow bone. I don't like looking a little more androgynous like I do now. But the biggest negative effects have been the lingering effects of estrogen. I have some gynecomastia, which is really not like too bad, as you can see. Like my thighs are a little bit thicker than the average guys. But the annoying stuff is like below the waist.
He was trying to become a baddie. Dog was trying to be a baddie. Oh, this dude got thicker thighs, thick in the waist. He was trying to get him a BBL. Good God. What the heck are y'all doing, bro? And for the people that does this to their kids, again, it sounds like his family was in disagreement with what he got going on, but they still loved him. For y'all trying to do this to y'all kids, immediately the thing that come to my mind is Dwayne Wade and how he's the absolute worst person and the worst father of all time. I'm amazed. I'm amazed that oh man, and he got to live with this dumb junk for the rest of his life. But it's a good conversation to have, I think.
You can Google the effects of estrogen on the male body if you'd like to. I'll be vague. Things like still work after being off estrogen. I have normal T levels, but my libido's kind of low. Function is like 50% of what it was pre-transition, and my fertility is up in the air, which sucks, but it is what it is. Yeah. When I was identifying as a woman, like estrogen actually did like affirm my identity and made me feel good. But now that I'm living as a man again and not really identifying as one, but viewing myself as a man, it like
What do you mean not identifying as one? What the fuck does that mean? Somebody in my chat today said something like sexuality is much different than gender or what you attracted to and some bullshit. Like, what do you mean? What does that even mean, bro? You
it
ain't learned your
horrifies me a
lesson
little
yet?
bit that I like put myself through chemical castration. But again, it is what it is. So yeah,
Let me
I
go
don't
find
consider
that.
viewing myself as a man. It horrifies me a little bit that I like put myself through chemical castration. But again, it is what it is. So yeah, I don't consider my transition to be part of some like wonderful journey. I feel physically and mentally stunted. I feel like a tree that grew in the wrong direction for 4.5 years. Now I have to break off the branch and like restart. I feel diminished, and yeah, I'm angry at myself that I bought into a belief system that taught me I could become a woman if I wanted to. And for me, rejecting that belief system has been an important.
Yo, and this is the danger, and I'm glad that he said it. This is the danger that comes along with these indoctrination camps and pushing this a liberal agenda. And anybody that support the Democratic Party that is a part of this bullshit, I believe that they need to be held accountable. And this is why we need to get off the Democrat plantation. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. Let me know what y'all think, man.